So a warm welcome. So we've got a journey today. So this is sort of the build up we've been doing over the few weeks. We've got a journey through the chakras. And I'm going to embody each chakra as we move up, all right? So remember, cast your mind back to the root chakra. Bring your hands to your knees here and try and make sure your knees are lower than your hip creases. Do sit up on something in order for your hips to relax a little bit. This first chakra, the Muladhara chakra, is associated with, and it's also known as your root, is down in the pelvic floor there. So just give a little lift to your pelvic floor. This is the earth element, a grounding element. And that doesn't necessarily have to be your feet or your bottom. When our hands are on the ground, that would count as our grounding physically. But also we can use ujjayi breath, so tone the back of your throat and hear your breath. Connect more with, this physicality, this earth, this density of our body. This is I am. I like to think of it as home base, your earth. And we need this foundation, the root, before we can rise up through all the other chakras. So it's really important to feel grounded and steady. So tone the back of your throat and tune in. And don't force this. I just want you to try softly. So you hear it, but it's not a forcing. There's no wrinkles in your face. Relax around your temples, around your eyes. And start to tune into your body, into this earth, into 45 minutes practice together. A sense of settling, plugging in. You could even take Bhumudra, if you know what Bhumudra, 2 index fingers, either plug them into your thighs or plug them into the earth beside you. Take a deep breath in, Ujjayi, hear it. A long breath out. And take about 2 more rounds of breath like this. Settle, settle, ground, ground. As we draw down into silence, as this steady earthing, ever so gently start to lift your fingers away from the earth if you're using Bhumudra and bring them to your heart center. And we use the sound of Om, the invocation to start and begin. This is the beginning chakra. Ganesha is associated with this chakra. So beginning with the Anusara Invocation. Take a deep breath in. Om. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om. So take a deep breath and keep your eyes closed. Can you feel both sit bones plugged into the earth where you touch the earth? Feel its steady, unmoving foundation. It's never not present. You are held by the earth and by the universe. So plugging in with your bum, reach your arms up overhead. And we're going to be traveling up the spine, up the Sushumna Nadi, through these 7 gateways, or 6 plus 1. Exhale, bring your left hand down and just bow over. So we begin to wake it all up. But leave your eyes closed so you can stay more internalized. And then inhale, come on up. Exhale down the other side, bowing through the spine. Beautiful. And then inhale, come on up. Again, feel your earthing. This is, I would say, probably the most important chakra that we feel earthed and grounded in, especially in times of stress and uncertainty, which the world is certainly throwing at us at the moment. And then gently bring your hands down. As you touch the earth, lean forward, spread your hands. You can start to open your eyes as you look at, spread all your fingers and just start to tone the tips of your fingers as you take a gentle grip, a reassurance from the earth. It's going nowhere. It's always going to be there for you. Take a deep breath in and a lovely long breath out. Now, without moving your hands, draw your hands to a midline. So feel the muscles start to tone the bones of your body. And feel that support network of your bones and your muscles supporting you. Let's tip forward now onto all fours, so you can remove the cushion from underneath the bottom. But keep that gentle tone of your fingers. Your index finger should point directly forward so that your triceps can wrap back and your shoulder blades can plug in. When you're on all fours, your femurs will plug into the hip sockets as well. Tuck all 10 toes, even your little toe, tuck it under, and then start to push your bottom back, push into your feet. You might get a yummy stretch in your feet there. And for some of you with tight feet, this might be enough. But otherwise, you can start to put more weight into your feet as you come up and take a seat on your heels, okay? I love to teach this, and the more often you do it, the more often you travel here, the easier it will become. But if it's your first time doing it, it can feel quite intense. So use your Ujjayi breath to remind yourself to stay grounded, to stay earthed. And you can do this. We won't be here forever. In and out. If it's easy for you, you can lean back a little bit. If it's super hard, just maybe hold it on a couple more breaths, and then you could give yourself a break, but then come back and join us all. Close your eyes, and again, know that it's not going to last forever, but you're breaking into all the fascia in your feet and in your foundation. Such good work for you. Okay, bring a gentle smile to your face. Just 2 more breaths, guys. Take a deep breath in. A long breath out. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Well done. Inhale, come up on your knees. Reach up again. Again, feel this line of energy all the way up your spine, just in front of your spine. And then exhale, place your hands on the earth. Untuck those poor old toes and give them a little massage on the earth. They're going to love downward dog now. So tuck your toes and lift your booty up and back. Do this with really bent legs and you'll feel more. So lift your chin and look at your hands. Spread your hands. As I say, this chakra is associated with Ganesh, the remover of obstacles. So spread your hands as if they were big elephant pads. Claw the earth. Bend your knees, look up, and with your knees bent, you'll feel more of it in your arm and in your spine, which is where we're trying to tap into today. Close your eyes. As if you're an elephant with a trunk, take a deep breath in and breathe down your trunk. Exhale. 1 more like that. Inhale. And exhale. Awesome. Start to straighten your legs. And then looking up between your hands, you could either take 1 big step or lots of little ones, or hop to the top of your mat. Separate your feet in a hip distance apart. Sit your bottom down and bring your hands to your hips. And I'm hoping now you'll feel the leg strength. So this chakra, physically is associated with that legs and support, whatever touches the earth. Take your shoulders back. It's a red chakra as well. Take your ears back like they're the elephant ears. I am present. I am home. Inhale, if you can, reach your arms to Utkatasana. And then inhale, come up to standing. Well done. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Imagine you're breathing through this trunk, this long, steady breath. Inhale. Bring a smile to your face. Exhale, bow forwards. Inhale, look up halfway. Step your left leg back to a lunge. Okay, and bring the knee down to the mat till it almost touches the mat there. Come onto your fingertips. Do you know elephants are actually really sensitive? They may be heavy and large, but they're very sensitive. So come onto your fingertips. This will make you more sensitive. And then re-straighten. Push into your back toes. Re-straighten your back leg. Do that again. Bend your knee. Feel your legs. And if you want to, you can take this up a stage by floating your fingertips off the mat. And then re-straightening your leg. Everyone, bend it again. You could have your fingertips on the mat, remember, or lift them, or now bring them to your hips and re-straighten your leg. Can you feel your legs, your strengths? Reach up, stretch up, or leave them on the mat, up to you. And then exhale, sweep your hands down. Fabulous, everyone. Step your left foot forward and your right foot back. Bring your back knee down to the mat. Again, try not to be flat on your palms. Come onto your fingertips. Take a big breath through your elephant trunk. And lift your back knee up an inch. Hold it. And then power through your right toes. Straighten up your back leg. Okay, bend it again. Option now to lift the fingertips an inch or leave them on the mat. There's 3 options going to be offered. Power up your right leg. Last one, bend the back knee. Either do one of those 2 or come with me, bring your hands to your hips. You really feel those thighs, your support network, home base. Power up your right leg. Inhale, reach up. Beautiful, and then exhale, sweep your hands down. Step back to a downward facing dog. Muladhara Chakra, your grounding. Your earthing, moving up now into orange, into your sacrum. Lift your right leg up behind you. And then as you step up, step that right leg to where your right hand is, so to the edge of the mat. Bring your back knee down to the mat. Okay, and again, come on your fingertips, or you could use a block here if you're getting a bit of pinching in your right hip. And then what I want you to do is stir your right hip up. So Svadhisthana chakra, the sacral chakra. This is now associated with water and flow, your creative center. It's actually, all down by our creative organs, our sexual organs. So flow, move your hips, move it in the other direction. So stir your hips, that watery flow in the other direction. And then lunge forward, inhale, look up. On a physical level, this is associated with the sacrum and obviously the hips here. Okay, let's switch legs. So straighten up your back leg, step your left leg forward to where your left hand is, and your right leg back. And bring the right knee down to the mat. And we still take note of the earth, but now we start to draw up. Once you feel steady, then you can get creative. So move your hips. It's like, in everyday life, once we have found home base and we're confident with that, then we can start to pretty up the house, decorate it, get brave, move in the other direction, push the boundaries. As I say, it's associated with a glowing orange colour just in front of your sacrum. So mix and move. And then lunge forward again, yogis. Inhale, look up. Push into your right toes, lift your right knee up and step your way to the top of the mat. Bend your knees, feel that earth, hands to your hips. There's your sacral chakra. Inhale, Svadhisthana. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, hands to your heart center. I always associate this with Saraswati here, who is this creative, musical genius. Come to the middle of your mat, okay? And then sit into your legs. Okay, now as you pick up your left leg, I'm going to mirror you. Pick up your left leg and cross it over. Figure 4. Now you could lean against a wall, that would be fine. But flare your toes and sit down a little bit more. You could bring one hand to your knee, one hand to your foot for a bit of balance, or hold a wall. And as you do this, what I don't want you to do is bend and bow this ankle. I'd like you to flex the ankle, So the ankle and knee stay strong, and you feel this up here in the hip. This is what you should do in pigeon. This is like pigeon pose, the shape. Figure 4. Into those creative hips. Either stay here or start to bend in, and some of you might be able to touch the floor and then lift your booty. Maybe start to straighten your right leg, your supporting leg, and you'll get a delicious, delicious hip stretch. If you are touching the floor, bend your supporting leg, come back up. And then everyone come on up and release your left leg. Release your hands. Maybe you feel some energy shift up the legs into the pelvis. Sit down. So as the first chakras are more sort of obvious and dense, embodied. Pick up your right leg. Flare the toes as you do that and keep them flared as you cross. This is going to protect your knee and ankle. I'm really into all that alignment and keeping your body safe. It's what I love to teach. And either lean on the wall or one hand to your foot, one hand to your knee. Can you start to feel that glow? Keep your breath moving, fluid like water. And then if you want to try, you can bend a little bit deeper and touch the floor. I always find this more challenging in my left hip. If you can start to straighten up the supporting leg. Doesn't matter if you can't though, do what you can. That's what yoga's all about. Well, certainly my class is. Okay, super duper. And then if you are touching the floor, start to come back up. Start to come up, 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 and then release that leg. Release it down. And again, release your hands. Take a deep flowing breath in, Svadhisthana chakra, into your hips. Well done. Step your feet wider than your hips. Turn the heels in and just start to make some circles there, fluid circles. It's really good to get the hips and sacrum moving. This sequence is a lovely one to do. Every day of the week, you go in the other direction. It's a lovely general sequence to do. Okay, one more circle, okay, and then pause. Step your feet together. Now we move on up. We move up into our fire center in the solar plexus here, just underneath the ribs, often associated with the core, okay? So come to the top of your mat. Inhale. Reach up, exhale, bow your torso forward. Inhale, extend your spine. Now as you do this, I want you to cough, so go That will make you lift your pelvic floor, Muladhara, but you'll also feel your tummy tone in. The strength to it. Exhale, bow. Try it again. Inhale, extend your spine halfway and then cough. Feel that lift. I want you to try and keep that as you place your hands onto the mat and step back to a plank. And remember, guys, your plank could be here, down on your knees. All right? So feel your foundation. Squeeze your hands to a midline and give yourself another cough. Start to feel a little bit of fire in your tummy. This is I can. I always think of this as my girl power center or boy power center. A little bit of self-determination, your inner fire. Hold this for 3, 2, and 1. And then lift your bottom up and back. Downward facing dog. But as you lift it to dog, don't just turn this off. Keep that lift. And you can always do that by giving yourself a little cough. Feel that? Draw in. Lovely. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, come down to your knees. A really important part of the core is the lower back. So come down. You might not like me for this, but you know, it's good for you to stir up your fire. Often we can be a little bit docile sometimes, especially if you guys are in lockdown like us here in the UK. We can get a little bit sluggish. So let your forehead rest and feel where your solar plexus presses onto the mat. And see if you can start to draw it up and away from the mat. Point your toes, click your toenails down, and then slide your hands behind the back of your head. Lift your elbows, lift your forehead. And as you lift, push your hands into your head a little bit and lift your head in. So there's a little bit of a tug of war. Let your neck actually engage. And you'll start to feel these muscles here in the low back fire up. A really important part of your core. Lift it up with a big cheesy grin on your face, even if you don't mean it. And then exhale, lower. We're going to do that again. And those of you who want to join me, we're going to do a couple of pulses, okay? So lift your elbows, lift your head, lift the sides of your mouth and smile. And we're going to pulse this for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift, lift, lift. Super duper. And then place your hands, snake up into a little cobra. Wrap your elbows back and now start to lift up into Anahata Chakra. I think I forgot to mention the solar plexus chakra is called Manipura. Exhale, push your way back, downward facing dog. And Manipura is associated with the yellow fire. Okay, now as we come to Anahata Chakra, look up, step your right foot in between your hands and bring your back foot heel down. Bring your right elbow to rest on your knee there and left hand to your hip. Take a breath in and draw the shoulders back. The Anahata Chakra is up in the heart. It's associated with green and air. So breathe deep, yogis. Breathe deep, breathe deep, breathe deep. Bring your top arm up, bend the elbow. Let's give the shoulders some love there. Okay, inhale through warrior 2. And then reach around behind your back. Open up the heart, the chest. Lift the sides of your mouth. Reach the hands round. So it's associated with the heart. And green, inhale, smile. And exhale, bow. This is your ability to offer up love. So lift your chin as if you're offering up love. But also your ability to know that you are good enough to be loved, to receive love. There's beauty in both. You are good enough, wise enough, beautiful enough to be loved yourself. Take a deep breath in, a long breath out. Open up that heart. And then release your hands down to downward facing dog lunge. Walk your way midway, so to the long edge of your mat, and then turn your right toes in parallel. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bow. I'm going to do those couple of poses on the other side, okay? So walk your hands to your left foot, turn the toes to the short edge, and we'll start. This pose is called Parsvakonasana, so bend in. Pick up your top arm. See how this elbow is resting on the knee and the palm is up. Try not to crunch in at the shoulder here. Okay, lovely everyone. Give your shoulders some love. And you know, often, I'm assuming most of us are adults here. Often as adults, we often are give. Everyone wants a piece of you all of the time. And you offer up that love. Inhale, come on up, warrior 2. But open your heart, open up across the chest region, the arms here. Reach around behind your back and know that you are worthy of receiving love too. So lift your heart as if someone's blowing you a kiss. I blow you a kiss mwah, across the internet. Receive that little droplet of love. Exhale, bow in. Humble warrior. And don't push it away. Don't shrug it off. Sometimes we're so good at giving away and not so good at receiving in. So enjoy it. Okay, and then release your hands. Reach it forward. Anahata Chakra, that sound. Anahata, 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 your heartbeat. Move your fingers to the long edge of your mat. Turn your left toes in. Inhale, reach up, extend your spine. And then as you exhale, move back to your right leg and let's step back to downward facing dog. And in your dog now, I want you to start to feel your throat. So lift your chin. Allow the weight of your head to elongate your neck as we move up into the throat chakra, Vishuddha. I seem to be particularly connected because this is my favourite colour. Come down to your knees. It's this sort of blue colour. This is my favourite colour, teal. It's associated now, we've moved from air. This is now vibration. This is your ability to let your voice be heard. So bring your hands to your thighs and again tone your throat so you can hear your breath, but also hear your inner voice. From here, take your left hand, weave it underneath your bottom and drop your ear over to the opposite direction. So stretch it away from whatever hand you've got underneath your bottom. And then take your top arm up and over as we stretch into the neck here. Lovely inhale, lift your head, come up. And we'll do the other side. So slide your hand underneath your bottom. Reach up and over. And you know, it might be, if you're quite tight in the neck, it might be more than enough just to let your head move to the side here. So you don't have to do this extra of reaching up and over. That's not necessary. So I don't want you to strain your neck. And we will be doing a little bit more neck work as we come to Shavasana. But finding length in this cervical spine is so important. Well done. Lift your head, unravel your hands. Let's come back to downward facing dog. Allow your head to hang. Lift your throat, Vishuddha. Can you allow your voice to be heard? Step your left foot forward between your hands. Bring your right knee down. We are winding down the energy slowly, so if you want to keep your back knee down here, that's absolutely fine. Otherwise, power it up if you've got a little bit more juice in your tank today. And then bring your hands up. So feel that foundation, yeah? Squeeze in, lift your pelvic floor and squeeze your hips side to side. And then draw up into this sense of I will. Take your shoulders back and send out the love, receive in the love. Then lift your throat. Shiva is the blue-throated one. Interlink your fingers, flip them over and bring them to the top of your head. And get long in the neck here. Think giraffe in your neck. And then stretch the arms up. Imagine your neck was that long. Okay, and then bring those meshed hands behind your head. Lean your neck back and back and back. Open your elbows. You can have the back knee down, remember. For 3, 2. Can you let your voice be heard, or is it being trampled on by others? Reach on up. And then exhale, bring your hands down. This is also the chakra of letting your voice be heard. Step your right foot forward and your left foot back. Remember, the knee can come down. But also knowing when is the time to be quiet and to listen and to absorb. Different stages of the dance of life will require different things. Find your earth. Find your hips, Svadhisthana. Find that power and fire in your Manipura. Draw the ribs in. Open your heart. Anahata, Anahata. Lift. Vishuddha, Vishuddha. Interlink your fingers to the top of your head. And as you extend your arms, imagine your neck and throat getting that long. Bring your bound hands behind your head. Then open your elbows. Take your skull back. Skull back. Skull back. Hear your breath. Let yourself be heard. And also know when to listen. Reach up, stretch up. And then peel your hands down, yogis. Awesome. Step back to downward facing dog. And now really bend your knees deeply. Let your skull hang as we move up into Anahata Chakra, AJNA. The third eye. Close your eyes. Allow the blood to flow here to that gap between your eyebrows. And also up into Sacral Chakra, the very crown of your head. In some systems this is not regarded as chakra because it is outside your body, but we'll consider it today. These are more subtle chakras. Bring your knees down to the mat, let them go wide and bring your big toes to touch. Okay, and then as you push back to child's pose, if your bottom doesn't get to your heels, it's quite okay to put something underneath your heels here. Inhale, look up, and bring your third eye, a little bit of pressure down onto the mat. If it doesn't get there, no problem, just stack your fists and just rock your head side to side. I think I mentioned last week that this is where very many nadis intersect. So it's a very powerful, calming chakra. This is why we tend to reach for it when we have a headache. This is your power of intuition. It's associated with ether and space. Your crown chakra is silence and stillness. Ajna chakra is purple. And your crown chakra is clear, white light. Some people regard it a deeper purple. These are more subtle energies. Take a deep breath in. And let your jaw hang slack. Open and close your jaw. Beautiful. This would be an appropriate place if headstand is in your practice. We could come to headstand. I'm not going to teach that because I can't assist and help you. But letting the energy flow to your head. So lift your bum, come to downward facing dog. Let's take 5 deep breaths in downward facing dog and really allow the energy, allow your head to hang. Feel that energy go into these much more subtle chakras of energy. And then ever so slowly, when you've taken your 5 breaths, you're going to come to your knees and flip over onto your back. Now, if you have a block, we're going to use the edge of the block. By working into the neck here, we can affect all of the musculature around the back of the skull. Okay, if you don't have a block, then you can just simply massage up the back of your neck and give your back of your neck a massage. Otherwise, take the edge of your block here and you're going to have to hold it to keep it angled in, and it's actually going to dig in a little bit, so it won't be like a beautiful soft silk pillow. This is going to do some work from you. Close your eyes, make sure your jaw is slack so that you're not clenching your teeth. We want to take all these wrinkle lines out of your forehead. Okay, and then just rock your head right and left over the back of this block. And for me, I'm right-handed, so I feel much more sort of energy in that right side of my neck. See if you can notice that. Relax your eyes as you do so, and imagine all these muscles melting. That'll allow your third eye, an area of deep intuition. These chakras are thought, intelligence, and the subtle wisdom. So when you've done that, there's maybe 1 or 2 more. We're going to take a couple of breaths in Shavasana. So either you're going to be coming to Shavasana for the whole of the rest of the class, or we're going to take a few breaths here, and then we'll come up to a seat for meditation. So unpeel your legs, turn your toes out, and feel your tailbone, Muladhara. Bring your hand to your lower tummy, Svadhisthana, the base of your ribs, Manipura. Your hand onto your heart, Anahata. Bring both hands to your throat, Vishuddha. Both palms to your third eye, Anya. And then allow your fingertips to press on the crown of your head, Sahasra. And then gently unpeel your arms all the way down, feeling this whole energy system. Take 5 deep breaths here, yogis. And then you can choose. If you'd like to stay here, you're so welcome. Or come on up to a seat. I have a beautiful poem for you. So we have come full circle, the full length over these weeks, and our pattern is complete. We are the thoughts that make this pattern, and we are the pattern that make the thoughts. From whence do our thoughts arrive, and where do they go to rest? And who is it that perceives them? So deep, deep within yourself, find a place to open up your mind and your senses. Through starry heavens ever climbing, matter's solid threads unbinding, out beyond far heaven's veil, the universe rules this starlit trail. In patterns bright, perceived by sight, our thoughts turn over day through night, and through our thinking, ever linking, winding, weaving, wisdom's web. Ancient patterns, flows and ebbs, and auspicious Shiva, Lord of sleep, your meditations bring us deep to ancient wisdom that's found within a sacred place where we begin. And ending here, we shall return. Reconnected, we have learned to know divinity is inside and bring it forth with an honoured pride. The key within our minds we hold to mysteries that will unfold, the gateway to worlds beyond, and in sacred space we all can bond. So breathe into that sacred space within you. All these energies and zones that make up a unique you, your unique dance with an embodied life. From wherever you are, whether you are seated with me or in Shavasana, sit a while. We are the thoughts that make the pattern, and we are the beautiful pattern that makes the thoughts. Obviously you're at home, so you are so welcome to continue with this and stay a while longer, so feel free. Or now if you're in Shavasana, you can choose to roll ever so gently to your side. Return to a seat. If you're seated like me, you might want to uncross your legs, shift it up a little bit. As we pause, feel these centers of I am down in your tailbone. I create Svadhisthana. Up into Manipura, your little fire center. Up into the fullness of your heart. Lift your voice, Vishuddha, your deep intuition. We are the thoughts that make the pattern, and you are a beautiful pattern that makes the thoughts. Bring your hands to your heart center, yogis, and bow into your unique, beautiful pattern. Sealing into closing our last class together, take a deep breath in. Om. Namaste.